Friends, today my message is simple to you. You are okay. More than likely, if you're watching this video, you're interested in weight loss. Aren't we all? And with being severely overweight and how I define that for what, probably because that's who I am. I'm about 100 pounds overweight, or was. I was maybe 130, 140 when I was over 300 pounds. But something that I learned recently, this past summer in 2019, I went to a therapist, and she's awesome. And she was like, let me back up. I went to a therapist, and I had the thought that like there's something wrong with me. Like I'm broken. I am... there's something I need to fix, right? This therapist is going to like take out a wrench and fix something. She's going to tell me something. I'm going to be like, oh, that fixed that. And it doesn't work like that. You are okay. I'm okay, right? Does it suck being 100 pounds overweight? Absolutely. Could you perform better in life and achieve more? Absolutely, with 100 pounds overweight. But if you had an onion and you start peeling back that onion, in there is you, and you are okay. I just want you to just really sit with that and just emotionally digest that you are okay. You are okay, and it's gonna be okay. You gotta stop mentally thinking you're broken. You got to mentally stop thinking that everyone who you perceive that has what you want is somehow got it together and you don't. They're not broken because they have what you want, and you are somehow broken, so you've got to fix something and you're not really sure what to fix, or how to fix it. You got to let that go. You are okay. Say it with me. You are okay. You're okay. And it's going to be okay, right? There's that famous mouse study. I want to put something to you, right? There's that famous mouse study that around dopamine, right? So if you don't know what dopamine is, you need to Google that up and you got to start getting this. I carry my little book with me, and yes, I can type stuff in my phone or whatever, but there's something powerful about just journaling it out, disconnecting, because I'm about to tell you why. So dopamine is the pleasure receptor, right? So meaning that I eat a piece of food, let's just use food as an example, and I'm like, wow, that feels good. And the dopamine receptor, I guess, from evolutionary standpoint, was like, oh, that's good, find that again. So you get a little reward. It's a reward feedback loop, right? More than likely, you know this, it's not exactly rocket science, but what's interesting, the study that most people overlook is they put a little electrode of some doodad inside these mice, and they gave the mice a button they could just step on or press, and it would go bing, and it would make them feel good. Very quickly, these mice were just pressing the button all day, and I find it very interesting that in the study they mentioned the word button, because what else has a button that gives us a dopamine feedback loop, a positive reward? Every time we reach for that phone and we're like, oh, that feels good. Oh, that feels good. Let me push this app. Let me push that app. And I'm not trying to be a hater, but what I'm saying is, what I'm trying to get to is that if you are 100 pounds overweight, that dopamine receptor has been fired a lot, mainly probably with food, right? And going back to you are okay, it's not, I don't want to blame the other. There's no one to blame in this scenario. It's just the way the world works, and you need to understand the way the world works so that you can reorient yourself in it, right? It's not that you are somehow more you are more inclined to do it. If I could say that word, susceptible. I still can't say the word. It's just that's the way we are wired. And so you eat a cheeseburger, you feel good. You eat in the short term, right? Mainly sugar. Sugar is that reward feedback loop. So what do you do in response? and that going back to the mouse study real quick before I get off that, that's where addiction happens, right? They press it, and they were pressing it all day long. They didn't worry about food. They didn't worry about anything other than pressing that dopamine button, okay? And where does that lead them? To pressing the dopamine button all day long and avoiding other things of responsibility, or not that mice have responsibility, but I'm just talking about us as human beings, right? So my point to that is, you are okay, but you need to be aware that the fix, the change is not, oh, I'm gonna fix this thing in me. It's self-awareness. So let me give you an example. You go into a smoky bar, you smell the smoke, you sit there for an hour or two, and I don't advocate sitting in a smoky bar, both for not drinking and you don't want to be around secondhand smoke, but for the analogy to work, you're in a smoky room, right? After a couple hours, you're probably not going to smell the smoke that strong. You walk out of that same smoky room and you spend an hour outside in fresh air, like in this park that I'm in, and then you march your ass right back into that smoky room. You're gonna be like, whoa, how was I in there for so long, right? You're gonna smell it again. And to disconnect this dopamine feedback that we have with, whether it be food, with our phone, whether it be with pornography, whether it be with to just take cigarettes, take alcohol, take your drug of choice, take your stimulus of choice, right? You got to bring everything down. That's why fasting and the snake diet is so powerful, because step one is to do a fast, an extended fast, a 48, 72 hour fast, right? At least 48 hours in. And that's 2 days. That means you're going to go to bed, you're going to wake up, you're not going to eat all day, you're going to go to bed, you're going to wake up, you're not going to eat all day, and you're going to wake up, and then you're going to decide whether you're going to eat and what you're going to eat and that sort of thing. That is powerful. You can do it. Anyone can. It's safe. People will tell you it's not safe, so I recommend you just keep your mouth shut. But my point is, you're going to bring those levels down food-wise, so you can kind of get an assessment of what the hell's going on, right? You assessing yourself right now as far as how you respond to food while you're 100 pounds overweight and eating several times a day, you're not being objective, is what I'm trying to say. There's not anything wrong with you, you're just not being objective. So do a fast, get some objectivity, think about it when you put that food back in your mouth, what's going on, and then make some decisions, right? Be aware of what's going on. But there's nothing to fix. There's behavior to change, but there's not something that's broken in you. Okay? So you're going to get through this. If you want to make the change, you can do it. And I just want to leave you with that the world knows that we have dopamine now, the world being other humans, and they're laying traps for us everywhere. And you need to be self-aware enough that this exists and not ignore it, and then deal with it. It's just like dealing with anything. Somebody gives you bad news, you're like, how am I going to deal with that? You deal with the situation, right? So far, probably why you're 100 pounds or more overweight is that you just haven't dealt with the situation. There is a situation at hand. You are overweight. I'm overweight. I'm dealing with my situation. And it's time that you deal with the situation. And you need to accept who you are and take a step forward on faith. Take a step forward that says you are okay. You got this. You got this. I'm your friend. I'm here for you if you need me. I've got some links down below of how to start things and how to start the snake diet and where to look around. Just look in the description, start clicking some buttons, start thinking, and then take a little break, digest the data, and then figure out what you're going to do next. See you again in the next video, my friend. Wishing you the best.